Hey guys, and welcome back to a live training session with Big Warmblood. He's actually a Zweibrücker, like a Rhinelander, which is a German breed that comes from a specific area, and they are known to be big bodies. You can't really see him yet, but I think you can already kind of tell that he's quite big. So yes, it's like 17 hands or something like that, and I think it's something around 1 meter and 70, maybe 72. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But you see, I'm sitting on the mountain block, and he's still very big. I'm filming with my inside camera because I got some comments about it, but yeah, so I'm not getting on the horse from the wrong side per se, even though it's also not a bad thing to get on the horse from the right side, but I just wanted to clarify that. So that was a very windy day, honestly, and he's he's not a spooky horse, but I was like, maybe it's gonna affect him some, but it actually did not at all. So yeah, and because he's such a big body, I'm just still working on getting him very loose and just using all of this body in a good way. And yeah, so we are working on a lot of transitions and also side passing, travers, and all of that. Today I started travers and wrong and I don't even know how you say that in English, like the turn when they stand with the hind legs and then they just move their front legs. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, here you see he sometimes kind of tries to go away out of the hand. So when he does that, I try to not be too aggressive with it, that I really want to limit it. I'm just gonna give a little leg and see that he just goes forward, downward, and that he gets the right precision, kind of lets the neck fall a little bit. So I would also suggest doing that, especially if you don't know the horse, because some horses might overreact in a way if they are already being pushy like that. If you then just come with the leg really obtrusive in a way, they can kind of take it as an offense. So I would suggest you never to do it too much, but also tell them that it's not how they should act, and always just keep the hands very still. So I think I already launched them a little bit before that, so I was just working on my walk exercises, meaning side passing and all of that. And honestly, I'm more so a fan of working the horses right when you get on them, and what I mean by that is that you don't just walk around without anything to do, without practicing anything, because sometimes a horse can get bored, or maybe they come up with stupid things. Yeah, and you kind of saw that he wasn't crossing in the right way with the side passing just now, but because he's still learning and he's still trying to learn how I do it and understands me, and I don't want to push him too much and make him too uncomfortable, because he's just going back into training. Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it too much. So this side was a little bit better, but you see he doesn't really want to go to the first track. He kind of want to stop a little bit earlier, so I'm pushing him a little bit, then he trying to goes away a little bit. And for me it's really important that he goes forward, sideward, because it's forward first and then side passing. So we are just working on that, but it has been getting better, and I might make another video with him where you can just like see it. So yeah, but no matter where your horse is at, I think it is always a great exercise because it just makes him broke at on the ribs, and just also makes the whole body like loosen up and strengthens the connection from the hind leg to the front legs. So there's just so many advantages. I suggest if you like training your horse, if you have a young horse, that you start doing that like very early on, because then it would just be super easy. So sometimes it also helps doing this from like a little loop. So you go on a loop and then you go like shoulder in, and then you do like the travers. Or you do like a little loop and then you do the side passing. So there was like one step that was already kind of looking nice, but he still needs to cross more, as I already said. But again, like, I don't want to force him. Like, he isn't like a 3 or 4-year-old. So he learned it like a while ago, but then no one really practiced it with him. So I just kind of want to get him back to where he was, like slowly, and just retrain him in a like nice slow way so that he can manage himself nicely and understands his body. And it's like when you knew how to do the splits when you were a kid, but then you kind of forgot, but then you have to stretch before you can do it like in a good way. And I just always try to keep him connected because he's a long, big-bodied horse. I just want to really ride from the hind leg up to the front, like up to the bed. He does put his head down like nicely in a way, but I want him to be honest about it, meaning that he not just puts the head down but actually knows what it means, because when the horses put their heads down, the top line kind of like bends and raises, which is better because then they can hold the rider in a better way, and they have to step under, like under the center of the belly, which also helps them to even like go down with the head even more. And that's when you build the top line, and that's like really important. So really you really want to work on that like all the time, at any time. And yeah, so that's why I think it is really important to do the side passing and ride them forward downward, because if they do the side passing with their head in the air, it's hurting their backs and they not gonna build any new muscling. So I'm trotting, as you can see, and our like arena is very deep. It shouldn't be like such a big deal for him because again, he's very tall, but yeah, and you kind of can tell that he is not quite loosened up in his back already. He's kind of like a little bit stiff in the shoulder part too. He does react well on my inside leg. But again, like, he needs to be more like receptive to it, like a faster reaction, especially with the canter, because with him, since he's so big, it's like very slow motion movement, even though it doesn't look like that right now, but it feels like that. So I just want to always keep him active. I think like this lead looks already a little bit better. Yeah, so I just want him to be aware of his forelegs and that he doesn't just hold the head, but really like does it with stepping under the center. And I don't want to have him like too tight with the neck, I always try to kind of, yeah, here you can see, like, get him down a little bit more, give a little bit more rein, a little bit more space. Even though you want him to stay collected, you need to kind of give him that space so he can actually step forward downwards. So I'm having very like low hands, and they're like a little bit wider than they probably would normally be, because normally it's like one hand in between, but I'm just giving, like, I'm kind of like putting them a little bit more like away from each other, so that cantered apart from like the trot to the canter transition, that wasn't so good because he came up with his neck. So after that I was just working on a trot canter transition, that he would just stay down with his head and really step under again to like make like really just the part like out of the trot into the canter. So I'm not sure, like my video, like my recording ended like pretty much after that, so the better transitions just came like after that. But anyway, like I also try to not like sit too much, but do like the rising trot. I think this transition was already better, and he looks very pretty under saddle, I must say that. But here you can see, I would say he can go a little bit more downward too.